and the golden arrow.
Long, long ago, in Sherwood Forest, there lived a famous man called Robin Hood. He and his band of merry men roamed the forest. They dressed in green so they could hide more easily amongst the trees. They spent their days hunting deer and practicing fighting and archery. But most importantly, they robbed all the rich people who come through the forest and gave the money to the poor. Robin was known across the land. He had many exciting adventures, outwitting his enemy, the Sheriff of Nottingham. One of his most famous adventures began with an event one spring afternoon. It was a beautiful sunny day in Sherwood Forest. A rich lord in a flowing red cape was riding along the shady path, smiling to himself. He just made a lot of money and had eaten a big lunch. Suddenly, an arrow flew through the air, skimming his head and sending his hat flying. What? How? The lord looked around. Then he saw the famous archer, dressed all in green. Robin Hood, he stuttered. Hello there, smiled Robin. Worry not, my fine fellow. I am here to help. Your poor horse looked tired, so let me lighten her load. Hand me your heavy money bags and your jewelry and gold chains. Reluctantly, the rich lord did as Robin said. You'll suffer for this, he said. I'll tell the sheriff. Please do, laughed Robin. Tell him that yet again I have robbed a rich man to give his money to the poor. The sheriff was furious when he heard the news. His soldiers quaked in their boots as the sheriff ranted and shouted. That man's forever robbing noblemen, he cried. I must devise a plan to catch him who will help me. One of the soldiers stepped forward. Sire, he said, his voice quaking with fear, I have an idea. When he heard the plan, the sheriff's eyes lit up. One day, when Robin was out hunting deer, he saw a poster nailed to the greenwood tree. Win our golden arrow, it read. What fun, laughed Robin. The sheriff is holding a competition at Nottingham Castle to find the best archer in the country. I'm sure I can win. I'm one of the best archers in the land. But Robin's men were worried. Master Robin, this competition might be a trap, said Will. As soon as you enter the castle grounds, the sheriff men will be sure to capture you. But I have to go, insisted Robin, or he'll call me a coward for not daring to show my face. His men disagreed. The risk was too great. We could not bear it if you were captured, they said. You are our leader. And I always will be, said Robin. I have tricked the sheriff many times and will do again. Don't worry, I have a plan, and I will need you all to help me. On the day of the competition, crowds gathered from far and wide. Rich people dressed in their best clothes mingled with poor woodsmen and beggars. Brightly colored tents covered the field with flags and buntings fluttering in the breeze. There was a great sense of excitement as the people waited for the competition to begin. Finally, the sheriff arrived and took his seat. I cannot see Robin Hood yet, he thought, peering at all the archer. As the weaker archer gets knocked out and the group gets smaller, it will be easier to spot his blonde hair and green clothes. It was a hard competition. The target was 150 meters from the archer and many missed it altogether. Others were brilliant and the people cheered on their favorites. Then one archer hit the bull's eye and the crowd roared. After the first round, only the 10 best archers were left in the competition. The sheriff studied them closely. He recognized 8 of them, including Gil, the Redcap, and the Atom of the Dell. But there was a stranger in blue, who was too thin to be Robin, and a tattered beggar dressed in scarlet. The beggar wore a patch over one eye and had brown hair, whereas Robin's was gold. So Robin hadn't come. The sheriff was furious. The best 3 archers went forward to the final round. They were Gil, the Redcap, the beggar in scarlet, and Adam of the Dell. Everyone shouted out of the name of their favorite and the noises, but no one cheered for the beggar in scarlet. 3 more shots would decide the winner. The crowd went quiet. Everyone was tense as one after the other, each archer pulled back his string and shot his arrow. Everyone hit the target, but the last shot of all, fired by the beggar in scarlet, hit the bullseye. Now the crowd did clap and cheers for him. He was the clear winner. The sheriff was delighted. "Well done," he said, presenting the golden arrow to the beggar. "What is your name, my good man?" "Jack of Teviot," replied the archer. "Well, Jack, you are a brilliant archer," the sheriff declared. "Far better than that coward Robin Hood, who dared not to show his face today. Will you join my service? I'll pay you well." "No, my lord, I thank you," the beggar replied. "I am my own man, and I will work for no one else, no matter who." The sheriff was annoyed at being turned down in front of so many people. "Then go now," he snapped, "before I beat you for your insolence." That evening, such a strange group of woodsmen and beggars gathered around the greenwood tree in Sherwood's forest. Together, they removed their disguise to reveal their green clothes underneath, for they were Robin Hood's merry men. They all laughed and clapped each other on the back to think of the fun they had. But the biggest cheer of all was for the beggar, who took off his eye patch and scarlet rags, for he was Robin Hood. "Clothes come off easily," said Robin Hood, "but I am afraid the walnut stain will be harder to remove from my yellow hair and beard." Everyone laughed and cheered. The sheriff looked me in the eye so hard as he presented the prize. I felt sure he would recognize me and clap me in chains, said Robin. But instead he gave me his golden arrow and offered me a job. Everyone laughed even more to think how Robin, with his clever disguise, had fooled the sheriff. That night, in the forest, there was a huge feast to celebrate. Robin was proud and happy that he had won the competition, even with one blind eye. Just one thing spoiled his evening. He took his good friend Little John aside. Everyone heard the sheriff say that the beggar was a far better shot than Robin Hood, who had been too cowardly to come. He said, "I have to let the sheriff know I am not a coward. How can I prove to him that I was there at the competition and that it was I who won the golden arrow?" "Worry not, Master Robin," replied Little John. "I will attend to this immediately." Little John rode straight to Nottingham. As he reached the castle, he could hear the singing and laughter as the sheriff and his friends celebrate together. "Let's drink a toast," said the sheriff, raising his tankard. "Friends, lord and noblemen, I didn't capture Robin Hood today, but I have shamed him in front of everyone. No more will he be able to hold his head up high or strike fear in our hearts, for everyone now knows he is nothing but a great big coward." But just at that moment, something flew through the open window. The sheriff ducked as an arrow whistled past him, narrowly missing his ear and landing amongst the dishes. The noise made everyone jump. On the end of the arrow was tied a scroll. Shakily, the sheriff unrolled it. It went bright red and shook with rage as he read aloud. Now heaven bless the grace this day, say all in sweet Sherwood, for you did give the prize away to merry Robin Hood. No! cried the sheriff. Once more Robin Hood had made a fool of him, but never again. The sheriff banged the table. That's it, he cried. Robin Hood has gone too far this time. Come on, man. We need to start planning our next trap. I vow I'll catch that man if it's the last thing I do. The end.